first until you get your process, okay?
Okay, let's see if Sergeant Good's in. What's going on, Sergeant Nelson?
Hey, Sergeant.
Hello, Sergeant Walski.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
Hi.
Morning, Sergeant Good.
Oh, Sergeant Bullen.
How you doing?
Good, good. And yourself?
All right, long time no
Great.
see. How you been?
Not too bad, thanks.
Oh, the sergeant here is new to the company. Also be working for you.
Great.
Well, good luck to you, Sergeant. Welcome to Huntsburg.
Sergeant, it's great to have you here. Welcome to the Huntsburg Recruiting Station. Make yourself comfortable. Have a seat. Now, I was just going over some plans for the next few days. Let me go over them with you. Now, first of all, we plan on doing some face-to-face prospecting. And then we're going to go out into the field and actually conduct some cold calls and prospect for both seniors and graduates. Now, the future of the Army begins right here. In over 1,600 recruiting stations, just like this one, staffed by several thousand recruiters, just like yourself. Now, by just sitting in our offices, there's no way that we're going to penetrate our entire market. And telephone prospecting is one way that we can accomplish our mission every month, but it's certainly not the only way. Now, in order to penetrate our markets, we need to get out into the high schools and colleges, places where our prospects work and congregate, and talk to them. Now, frankly, this scares many of us. It's not always easy to walk up to a total stranger and introduce yourself and the Army. But it's nothing to be ashamed of. Fear of the unknown is a basic human instinct. But it is something that we all need to be concerned with, because we must learn to prospect successfully face to face if we are to accomplish our mission of bringing high-quality people into the Army. Now, it doesn't matter whether you're prospecting for seniors or graduates, or whether you're assigned to some big city station or a rural area. Face-to-face prospecting remains essentially the same. The Army provides us with many tools to help us do our job, but none of these tools will do our job for us. Media advertising won't do it, RPIs won't do it, even our old reliable friend the telephone won't do it alone. And we have to go where our prospects are to get those appointments to tell the Army's story. If we don't, you better believe someone else is going to be telling their story. And most of them are pretty good at it. There's no great mystery to face-to-face prospecting. You must remember that you are the Army in your community. Face-to-face prospecting is just salesmanship, which good recruiters practice all the time. But there are many ways you can get better at it. That's what this course is all about. The objective is to improve your face-to-face prospecting skills, make you a better recruiter, and make your job a little easier all at the same time. The focus of the course is to obtain an appointment. Of course, when you actually go out face-to-face prospecting, you should be prepared to conduct an interview at any time. Now, we all know that in real life, doing things right every time does not always result in an appointment, although it certainly enhances your probability for success. In this course, however, doing things the right way will result in your obtaining an appointment. Now, we've divided the course into 4 sections. A tutorial on pre-planning and time management, plus 3 modules covering high school prospecting, cold calls, and prospecting for high school graduates. Now, just for fun, we've devised a scoring system that will allow you to earn recruiting awards, with the ultimate being the recruiter's ring. To make your way through the course, follow the instructions on the screen. You'll be prompted at each step. The first time you begin each section, you'll be given a short pre-test to assess your current knowledge of the subject. After you've completed the 4 sections, there'll be a 20-question post-test. Based on your score, the computer will give you an award. And we hope that this will be another step in your earning a real recruiter's ring. So, good luck. It's great to have you here at the Huntsburg Recruiting Station. Let's get to work. Ready to go to work? Before you go out into the field with our recruiters, let's talk about planning and time management. These are 2 of the most important elements of face-to-face prospecting. As we go through this module, I'm going to be asking you some questions and then giving you the answers. The idea is not to trick you or try to make you miss the question. What we want to do is help you become better at planning your activities and managing your time. This will make it easier for you to meet that mission that we all face at the beginning of every month. So, let's get started. Here's the first question. What's the most important thing you should do before you leave the office to go face-to-face prospecting? And remember, I said the most important thing. Have a positive mental attitude, prepare a plan of attack, be sure you have the correct RPIs, or plan what you are going to say to prospects. You're absolutely right. Having a good plan of attack is the most important element of face-to-face prospecting. Having a positive mental attitude, taking the proper RPIs with you, and knowing what you're going to say to prospects are all part of successful face-to-face prospecting. But without a well-thought-out plan, you are much less likely to succeed. Now, that is a part of successful face-to-face prospecting, but preparing a plan of attack is the most important element. Having a positive mental attitude, taking the proper RPIs with you, and knowing what you're going to say to prospects will all help you be a better face-to-face prospector. But without a well-thought-out plan, you are much less likely to succeed. Face-to-face prospecting should not be a random activity. It must be carefully planned and include analyses of past successes. If you just drive around hoping to see someone who looks interesting, you'll have little to show for the time spent. Go where you are most likely to find prospects to talk with. If you're looking for graduates, go to places where they congregate for recreation, or where a lot of young people work, like fast food restaurants, movie theaters, and shopping malls. This will give you the opportunity to show them that the Army may be able to offer them more opportunities than their present employer. Remember that you are also seeking influential people who can get you closer to the people you want to see. Make time in your face-to-face planning for keeping in contact with your COIs and VIPs and cultivating new ones. A lot of people out there are willing to help you do your job, but you have to ask for their help and let them know that you appreciate it. Here's the next question. Where should you practice face-to-face prospecting? That's the answer I was looking for. Face-to-face prospecting is an activity that can occur anytime, any place. There's actually no incorrect answer to this question, however. Shopping malls, high schools, and college campuses are three of the most important locations for face-to-face prospecting. But you should always plan time to stop and tell anyone the Army story. Actually, that's not the answer I had in mind. But you're not wrong. Shopping malls, high schools, and college campuses are three of the most important locations for face-to-face prospecting. The most correct answer, however, was anytime, any place. You should always plan time to stop and tell anyone the Army story. Now that you're getting the hang of this, let's go straight to another question. And keep in mind what I said earlier. We're not trying to trick you. We want you to be a better recruiter after you have completed this course. Now, why do many recruiters avoid face-to-face prospecting? Is it because of fear of rejection, fear of unfamiliar surroundings, fear of past failures, or for all of those reasons? Well, that one was pretty obvious, wasn't it? Fear is the main reason many recruiters avoid face-to-face prospecting. Fear of rejection, fear of unfamiliar surroundings, fear of past failures. The object of this course is to help all recruiters overcome those fears and do their jobs better. Well, you're partly right. Fear of rejection, unfamiliar surroundings, and past failures are all reasons why some recruiters avoid face-to-face prospecting. The best answer was all of the above. The object of this course is to help all recruiters overcome those fears and do their jobs better. Effective planning and time management can help all of us overcome our fears of face-to-face prospecting. In addition to planning where to go, also plan who you are going to see. Now, this is often dictated by your mission. When prospecting for seniors, plan your activities around your high school. Use your school folder. Review the past years for the school's history and make sure your plan is tailored to the school schedule. Know when career days, job fairs, and college nights are scheduled and plan to be there. Studies of past tendencies can guide future prospecting plans. Annual community and school events usually happen about the same time every year. Plan to take advantage of them. Lead generating events. Community activities like fairs and festivals should always be included in your plan. Now, which of these questions is the most important to ask yourself when devising a plan? That's right. Your plan should give the Army the widest possible audience. If it does, chances are good that you will see enough people to get the appointments you need to meet your mission. And that should make your job easier and keep you in good standing with the leadership. Might even let you be able to take some time off. Now, the correct answer is, will my plan give the Army the widest possible audience? If it does, chances are good that you will see enough people to get the appointments you need to meet your mission. Well, that should make your job easier. The leadership will be pleased, and you might even be able to take some time off. To prepare your prospecting blueprint, you must ask yourself, how well do I know my market and my area? The more involved you are in community activities, the better you will learn your market. Allow time in your plan to meet and cultivate COIs and VIPs. Know your goals. Be sure they are specific. Use the leads you get from your COIs and follow up on them. Only you can make the face-to-face contact that will lead to getting an appointment. Plan for effective use of your DEPs. Plan functions for them at every opportunity and encourage them to bring their friends and family members. Give your DEPs a sense of belonging while waiting to go on active duty. Plan to use them effectively for testimonials and to help you establish rapport and credibility. Encourage them to get that promotion to E2 by helping you with referrals that could enlist. But remember, they will do this only if you help and encourage them. Now, what is the most effective way to use your DEPs to benefit both you and the Army? Actually, all of the choices are important in making effective use of your DEPs. By including them in your planning, you are helping a new soldier get a head start on his or her career, while helping yourself and the Army at the same time. That's not a bad choice, but the right answer is all of the above. You should give your DEPs leads and ask them to follow up. Give them a sense of belonging to the Army and get them actively involved in building the Army. By including them in your planning, you are helping a new soldier get a head start on his or her career while helping yourself and the Army at the same time. You should always plan for the unexpected. Weather and other unpredictable events can have a major impact on your schedule. Always have an alternate plan for every day. If a scheduled event doesn't happen, you can use your time by knowing where you can effectively face-to-face prospect. Sitting in the office doesn't get the job done, nor does having to take time to realign your schedule every time events force you to change your plan. Let's try one final question in this module. Would you say the following statement is true or false? Your time is your most important commodity. Of course it's true. You can't be a successful recruiter unless you plan and manage your time effectively. Well, I have to disagree with you this time. It's very difficult to be a successful recruiter unless you plan and manage your time effectively. Face-to-face prospecting is an excellent opportunity to tell the Army's story and support our mission requirements. To be good at it, you need to develop an attitude that you never met a stranger. Learn the habits, customs, and preferences of prospects in your area. These things influence how they make decisions. But, above all, plan effectively. The better you plan, the better your chance of making mission consistently. And the better the chance that one day, you too will be wearing one of these.
Hi, how's it going? I'm Sergeant Gregory Carmine of Headquarters USAREC Training and Plans Directorate. I'm glad you're taking this course. But before you get started, I need to go over the course design with you. After you have seen this overview, I'm sure it will be easy for you to make your way through the course. You see, This course was designed with you, the recruiter, in mind. So let's take a look at some of the screens that you will encounter during the course. At the end of this overview, you will see this screen. Direct your attention to the 3 items listed on the bottom: Exit, Replay, and Continue. These are called icons. Use the icons to maneuver through the course. In order to select one of the icons, you must use the left or right arrow keys on the keyboard until the cursor is on the function you wish to perform. Then press Enter. In this case, selecting the exit icon will store data in your student file and take you to a message screen. This screen will prompt you to remove all diskettes from the system. Exiting from the system overview is the only time you will come straight to this message. Selecting the replay icon will replay this overview from the beginning. The Continue icon will take you to the next segment of the course, which is the course overview. The course overview focuses on the content of the course, and once you have finished it, you will see a screen the same as this one. The only difference on this screen from the one in the system overview is that the exit icon will take you to this screen, where selecting the menu icon will take you to the main menu. A selection of the Continue icon will cause you to exit from the course. Completion of this system overview and the course overview are prerequisites before you gain access to the main menu. The Replay icon will replay the course overview from the beginning, and the Continue icon will take you to the main menu. If you decide to exit the course after completing both overviews, upon re-entering, you will go to the main menu. Notice that the main menu has 6 selections, with the exit icon being the last one. This menu is also a status screen. Take a look at the boxes to the left of the system overview and the course overview. As you can see, they are blue. This indicates that you have completed those items, and they can be selected if you want to see them again. The pre-planned time management selection box is green. This means it is available and can be taken. Any main menu selection coded green must be taken before you can move to a selection that is coded red. The modules and post-test selections are coded red and cannot be selected until they are coded green or blue. To change the status from red to green, you must complete the pre-planned time management tutorial before you can select the modules. And you must complete all modules before you can select the post-test. To make a selection from the main menu, use the up and down arrow keys on the keyboard. Now, are you thoroughly confused? Relax. Let's take a look at what you will see once you enter the pre-planning and time management tutorial. This screen is an introduction to pre-planning and time management. The icons to select from are Menu and Continue. A selection of Menu will take you back to the main menu. A Continue selection will take you to the Advanced Organizer for this lesson. All other lessons have a video segment for the introduction. This is an Advanced Organizer. An Advanced Organizer will appear after the introduction of all modules. It lists the main ideas, topics, objectives, or tasks covered in the module. It includes a heading, plus provisions for returning to the menu from which the module was selected in case you change your mind. A screen at the end of each module will summarize the main ideas, topics, objectives, or tasks covered in the module. The purpose of the summary is to reinforce the instruction just provided. Periodically, the computer will have to check student files for information, and this often causes delays. When you see an hourglass on the screen, this is an indication that the program is working and will complete when the hourglass has drained. Upon completion of the pre-planning and time management tutorial, you can return to the main menu, where the status box next to modules will be coded green, and the pre-planning and time management will be coded blue. When you select modules from the main menu, you will see this submenu. Notice that all choices are coded green. You can select these lessons in any order you want. Completion of a module lesson will cause that lesson to be coded blue. Once you have entered a lesson from the module menu, you will see the icons discussed before. However, there are a few exceptions. When more than one screen is required to get a point across, the second screen will have a previous icon on it. Selecting the previous icon will take you back to the first screen. When you see a screen with a replay icon during a lesson, the replay selection will only show the most previous segment viewed. A replay icon on a summary screen will replay the entire lesson. Now let's talk about bookmarks. Have you ever been reading a book, but you have to stop because of an interruption, and you slip a piece of paper in your book to maintain your place? Well, the same is true for this system. This course was designed with bookmarks at strategic points in the lesson, so that you can exit the lesson and return later to the points you left off. During a lesson, when you come to a frame with the exit icon on the screen, this is a bookmark frame. All you have to do is select Exit, and data will be saved to your student file. When you re-enter the course and select that lesson, you can return to your bookmark. If you don't want to bookmark your lesson, select the menu icon to back up through menus until you're at the main menu. Then select Exit. During the course, if you get stuck, press the F6 key to bring up this frame. Here you'll find an explanation of all icons. Well, I think I've taken up enough of your time. I know you're anxious to get started. And besides, I need to get back to my lesson. So good luck and good recruiting.
Prospecting in high schools is a critical part of our job. In any city or town, this is where you will find a large number of prospects concentrated in one area at the same time. The seniors who don't sign up will remember you after they graduate. And what better place to find COIs and VIPs who are in contact with your prospects every day? During this lesson, we will address a few basic rules for face-to-face prospecting in high schools. We will also provide you with some helpful ideas from many seasoned recruiters who were involved in producing this course. These ideas are based on many years of experience in the field. These hallways are practically empty right now, but usually they are filled with young people who are the future of the Army. As recruiters, it is our mission to tell the Army's story and to convince young people to stay in school and to stay off drugs. Sure, we have to recruit college graduates and college seniors too. But one of our basic missions takes place right here in these hallways. Hey, guys! Hey, you gonna win Friday night? Those are our future tankers, tomorrow's ground pounders. There are cooks, communicators, and intelligence specialists. Without them, there won't be an Army. And remember, they are also tomorrow's airmen, sailors, and Marines. I don't have to tell you, the competition in these hallways is stiff. And don't forget about the civilian competition either. It's just as stiff. So, how do we win the recruiting game in high schools?
Hi, Sergeant.
Hi, Cindy. Hi, Barbara. First, by getting to know our prospects, by showing them the opportunities the Army has to offer them, and by showing them how to get an edge on life, to earn money for college, and serve their country all at the same time. Now, the right way to do this begins with face-to-face prospecting. Now, one of the most important things you should do is establish and maintain good relations with the high school administration. Without their help and cooperation, you can't even get to where your prospect spends 6 to 7 hours every day, namely right here, in school. Never, under any circumstances, disrupt any school activity or make a student late for class or anything else. If the high school has a junior ROTC program, maintain rapport with the ROTC staff. They can be one of your greatest assets in the school. Every teacher is important and a potential center of influence. Senior English teachers are especially important in helping you do your job. Consider this. The one subject every senior in every state is required to take is English.
Hey, Sarge. Are you still going to be able to help us out again this Friday?
Hey, you bet, Coach.
Great.
I'm looking forward to it. One of the things I do is volunteer at the basketball games to keep the scorebook. It helps the school and the team and gives me the chance to get to know some prospects. Well, you can also take up tickets at school functions, be available to talk to classes, or help sponsor extracurricular activities. Anything you can do to get to know your prospects better will make your job easier. Remember, you have to sell yourself before you can sell the Army. But don't get so focused on the students that you forget about the teachers. Many new teachers, fresh out of college, are also potential prospects. Remember what you learned in recruiting school. First, establish rapport. Determine needs and interests, deliver the sales message, get the appointment, and if the situation presents itself, conduct the interview. Prospecting in the high school is a never-ending mission. It doesn't just happen in the school. You also have to go where the students are when they're not in class. Getting an appointment in a fast food restaurant is just as good as getting one through the guidance office. Naturally, you're not going to sign up every prospect. We all know that. Computer salespeople don't sell everyone a computer, and car salesmen don't sell everyone who comes onto their lot a car. But improving your face-to-face prospecting skills will enhance your chances of successfully accomplishing your mission month after month and year after year. Hi, how you doing? Come on with me for a second. I've got a real treat for you today, but I hope you came ready to work because I'm going to team you up with one of our real go-getters. I'd like you to meet Sergeant Walski.
Oh, hi. I've been looking forward to meeting you. Glad to have you with us.
Sergeant Walski is going out to Huntsburg High School today. I'd like you to go with her. Pick up a few pointers. Sergeant Walski is one of our best recruiters in the high schools. What time are they expecting you, Sergeant?
11 o'clock. We have an appointment with Mrs. Thomas. She's the guidance counselor.
Oh, great. I'll see you both when you get back.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thanks. We'll be back around 1:30.
Great.
Okay, let's get what we need, and then we'll drive on out to the high school. Okay, RPIs, hall passes. We won't be needing these. They're from the other high school in town. All right, that should do it. Let's go. Okay, this won't take long.
Fill her up, ma'am.
Thanks, but we have to use self-service. That is, if you do accept government credit cards?
Yes, ma'am, we do, and we are all full service at self-service prices.
Okay, well, fill her up then.
Okay.
You know, he looks really familiar. I just can't remember where I've seen him. Oh, I know. Did you graduate from Huntsburg High last year?
Yeah. Sergeant Walski.
Yeah.
I'm Alan Vick. Remember you called me last spring when my buddy Stan Turner joined up with the Army.
Oh, that's right. I remember now. Alan. Hey, did you know that Stan's in Germany with the tank unit now?
I heard. I was in the hospital last time he was home on leave, but he did stop in to say goodbye to me.
Oh, nothing too serious, I hope?
Oh, no. I just had a bad asthma attack. I've had them since I was a kid.
Well, I'm glad to see you're feeling better, Alan.
Thanks.
Say, I'll bet you still see a lot of your old friends working here, don't you?
Oh, they come by here all the time.
Do you think any of them might be interested in the Army?
Well, not that I can think of, right offhand.
Okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'll give you some of my business cards, and if you hear of anyone who's interested, how about giving them one of those cards and asking them to call me?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Thanks. Oh, would it be all right if I put a poster up inside?
I'm sure it would be all right. Mr. Ford, our boss, used to be in the Army.
Oh, great. Okay, well, here's my card, and I'll get a poster out of the back.
Okay. Here you are, ma'am. That's $11.
Thanks. Say, when is Mr. Ford usually in? I'd like to meet him if I could.
Well, he's here most of the time. He's just at the bank right now.
Alrighty, well, I'll stop by later on this week and meet him then.
Okay, great.
Now, remember, Alan, I'm counting on you.
Yes, ma'am. Come back anytime.
You bet.
See you.
Bye. We'll stop by and see Mr. Ford tomorrow. Veterans can be some of our very best COIs. First, we'll go check in with the guidance counselor, and then we're going to have lunch with the kids in the cafeteria. Now, the administration is cooperative, but it's always a good idea to keep them informed about what we're doing. Uh-oh, stand by for the stampede.
Hey, Sarge, looking good. Where's the combat boots?
Back at the office. Can I interest you in a pair?
No way, lady.
Ignore those guys, they're just jerks. You look really sharp in your uniform.
Well, thanks. I'm Sergeant Walski, the Army recruiter for this area.
Oh, hey.
I see you're in the band.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I know your director, Mr. Turner. But I don't believe we've met, have we?
No, but I've seen you at football games.
Oh.
I'm Tammy Sims. I'm one of the band directors this year.
Oh, well, congratulations. That's quite an honor.
Yeah.
So you must be a senior then, huh?
Yeah, finally.
So what are your plans after you graduate?
Well, I'm not really sure. I like to continue with my music if I can get a band scholarship for college, but...
Did you know that the Army has a program where you can play in an Army band?
Really?
And we have ways of assisting you in getting your college education.
Well, that's interesting, but I've never really thought about joining the Army.
Well, Tammy, a lot of young ladies feel that way. But did you know that 1 out of every 9 soldiers in the Army today is a female?
Really? Interesting. I'd like to hear more about it.
You would? Well, I'd be more than happy to tell you about it. Oh, but right now, we don't want you to be late for class, Tammy. Let's see. Band is last period, right?
Yes.
Would you like for us to meet you at the band room when school is out?
Oh, I can't. I mean, I have to take the bus home.
Oh, that's no problem. We'll give you a ride home. If it's okay with your parents.
Okay.
All right, we'll talk on the way.
Okay, great. I'll call my parents next break, and
Okay.
I'll just see you right after school.
Okay. Bye-bye, Tammy.
Bye-bye.
Good. Well, listen, did you know if you qualify and a vacancy exists, we can guarantee you training in an Army band?
Really? Oh my gosh.
Sims, shouldn't you be in class?
Yes, sir. I was just trying to get some information about the
Now, not
Army.
during class time, young lady. I can't have you folks keeping my students out of class. Now, if this happens again, I'm going to have to ask you to stay out of my school.
Sorry, sir. It won't happen again. Oh, well, good. Great. Listen, Tammy, we're kind of busy right now. Can we get with you next week when we're back here at the school?
Sure, I guess so.
Okay, fine, fine. We'll see you then.
Come on, Tammy, we're late for class.
I wonder if the Navy has a music program. I guess I'll talk to the recruiter tomorrow or something.
I don't care, we're still late.
Hey, Bridget.
Good, great. Well, listen, Tammy, we're a little busy right now. Could you make an appointment with the guidance counselor and meet with us next week?
I guess so if I have to.
Okay, fine. We'll see you then.
Come on, Tammy, we've got to get to class.
Gosh, I mean, I don't want to talk to Mrs. Thomas. I mean, she wants everyone to go to college, and I can't afford it. You know, maybe I'll check out the Navy. I'm sure they have recruiters that come here, too. Do you think that's a good idea?
Okay, we'll definitely stop by the bake sale. Maybe we'll even buy something. See, it won't just be the drill team there. A lot of their friends will be hanging around, too, and those are definite prospects.
Good morning, Sergeant Walski. It's nice to see you again.
Good morning, Mrs. Thomas. Nice to see you, too. I've brought some more be-all-you-can-be hall passes.
Thank you. As a matter of fact, we're almost out.
Okay, and I have some camouflage pencils, too.
Oh, the kids love these.
Oh, I know it. Well, listen, I just wanted to drop by and let you know that we'd like to eat in the lunchroom today, if that would be okay.
Certainly. You know, most of the seniors usually eat during first period. Looks like perfect timing.
Oh, great.
I'm sorry. Come on in, Mrs. Clyde. How's your first day back?
Well, you should probably ask my students that. But Shakespeare hasn't changed as far as I can tell.
Mrs. Klein, these here are our Army recruiters.
Hi.
As a matter of fact, Mrs. Klein retired from Huntsburg High 2 years ago. She taught senior English here for 36 years.
Wow.
We pulled her back into service for 3 or 4 months to suffer Mr. Randall while he's out recovering from that car accident he had.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to meet you young folks. My late husband served with General Patton in North Africa. He fought at El Guitar.
Wow. Wow, it's an honor to meet you, Mrs. Klein. 36 years. Well, how does it feel to be back?
Fine. The only problem is that I probably should be teaching history.
Oh.
I feel like I've lived most of it.
Oh. Well, Mrs. Klein, since you're back, I ought to bring you up to date on the Army education programs that we offer to students. May I stop by your room during free period? I'd love to tell you about them.
Well, I'd like to talk to you, but today I have to take some personnel forms to the superintendent's office.
Oh, well, I'd be more than happy to drop them off for you. We go right by there on our way back to our office.
Well, that's very nice of you. If it wouldn't be too much trouble to do that, then I could see you during 5th period.
Oh, no, it'll be no problem at all. You see, being a senior English teacher makes you a great asset to us because, as you know, you see most of the students that we're interested in talking to.
Well, I've always tried to help all the recruiters in any way that I could.
Oh.
The military's a good choice for some students.
It most certainly is. So, well, I'm sure you'll be a tremendous help. So we'll see you during 5th period then. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, how is Mr. Randall doing?
Well, he said the doctor thinks he's progressing very well.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear that. You know, Mr. Randall has been a tremendous asset to us in telling seniors about the Army. Well, it was nice meeting you, Mrs. Klein. I hope you enjoy your time filling in for Mr. Randall.
Thank you.
We better get to the cafeteria and see if we can talk to some of the seniors. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I was always happy to assist all the military recruiters. That nice young Marine recruiter's coming by to see me tomorrow afternoon.
All right.
Mrs. Klein, I'm a little rusty on my military history. I don't remember where El Guitar is located.
It's in Tunisia.
Oh.
The 2nd Army Corps under General Patton won one of the first major U.S. victories in the war there in March of 1943.
Oh, wow. Well, that's fascinating. Well, we'd better get to the cafeteria and see if we can talk to some of the seniors. Bye-bye.
I was always happy to assist all the military recruiters. That nice young Marine recruiter's coming by to see me tomorrow afternoon.
All right.
Well, thank you again for all your help, Mrs. Thomas, and it was nice meeting you, Mrs. Klein. Here's my business card.
Oh,
We better get to the cafeteria and see if we can talk to some of the seniors. Bye-bye.
I was always happy to assist all the military recruiters. That nice young Marine recruiter's coming by to see me tomorrow afternoon.
All right.
Oh, there's Colonel Dixon. He's the ROTC instructor. Let's go speak to him before we get our lunch. Good morning, sir.
Well, good morning, Sergeant Walski. It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too, sir. How's the ROTC program going?
Oh, very well. Our rifle team just won the district competition last weekend.
Did they really? Well, that's great, sir. I'll bet the kids are excited, huh?
Very. We have the state finals in a month.
Oh, great.
Hi, Steve.
Oh, Miss O'Connor, let me introduce you. These are our Army recruiters. You'll be seeing quite a bit of them around school. Miss O'Connor is our new biology teacher.
Oh.
She just graduated from State University.
From State in August.
Well, if you ladies will excuse me.
Take care, Steve. Hi, it's Sally. Sally O'Connor. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Sally. I'm Jean Walski. So how do you like teaching so far?
Well, to be honest, it's a little different from what I expected.
Oh, really? In what way, Sally?
I guess I thought teaching would keep me in touch with biology. I like the students, but research has always been my goal.
Research? What type of research are you interested in?
Biomedical, primarily.
Well, Sally, did you know that the Army does a lot of research in many different areas?
No, I just thought the Army marched in parades when there wasn't a war.
Oh, you'd be surprised how many people think that. We do much more than that. Do you know we have some of the most advanced laboratories in the world?
Really?
Yeah. Do you think you might be interested in sitting down with us sometime and talking about it?
Possibly.
Okay, great. Well, let's see. Would tomorrow afternoon at 3:15 be all right? Or Wednesday at 4:45? Which is better for you?
Okay, come talk to you.
Wednesday, I guess.
Hi, Sally. I'm Jean Walski. So how do you like teaching so far?
Well, to be honest, it's a little different than what I expected.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it, huh?
Hope so.
Well, I guess we better go get some lunch. Hi, Sally. I'm Jean Walski. So how do you like teaching so far?
Well, to be honest, it's a little different than I expected.
Oh, really? Well, if it's any consolation, from what I know of the students here, they'll have you feeling right at home in no time.
Thanks.
By the way, you don't happen to have any students you think might be interested in the Army, do you?
Not really. All my kids are sophomores. They're not interested in a career yet.
Okay, thanks anyway. Well, I guess we'd better go get some lunch. Hi, Sally. I'm Jean Walski. So how do you like teaching so far?
Well, to be honest, it's a little different than what I expected.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh. Well, I'm sure you'll get the hang of it soon. Hey, maybe we could have lunch sometime.
Sure. Okay, I'll see you later.
All right. Well, I guess we better go get some lunch.
Sergeant Walski.
Colonel Dixon. Listen, if we can help the ROTC program in any way, you just give us or Sergeant Good a call at the recruiting station, okay?
Well, I certainly will, Sergeant Walski, and you stop by and see us anytime.
Thank you, sir. We'll do that.
Hi, Sergeant Wallace.
Hi, Ronnie. How's it going? You want to learn how to do that the right way? Watch.
Like this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Hi, I'm Sergeant Walski. I'm the Army recruiter for this area.
Oh, yeah? So how long have you been in the Army, Sergeant?
7.5 years. It's been a pretty good career. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Oh, it's Thomas. Thomas Collins.
Hi.
Did you go to college?
Not before I joined the Army, but I'm taking courses right now, and I'll have a degree in a couple more years.
I don't think college is for me.
Oh, well, listen, I didn't either when I first graduated from high school. You know, college doesn't have to be in everyone's plans, Thomas. So if you're not going to college, what are you going to do?
Well, I was thinking about going to a tech school and get some training.
Oh, really? Well, Thomas, did you know that the Army offers training in over 250 different skills, like aviation, electronics, communication, automotive mechanics?
You mean I don't have to be in the infantry?
No, not unless that's your choice. Like I said, we can offer you training in over 250 different skills. What do you have next period, Thomas?
I've got study hall.
Would you like to come to the guidance office and talk with us a little bit more about this program? I'd be happy to get you a pass out of study hall.
Sure, I guess so. You mean you can do that?
Sure, we can.
Okay, well, see you next period.
Okay, great.
Bye.
Bye. Well, I guess we missed lunch again today. So what kind of grades are you making, Thomas?
Oh, mostly B's and C's.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to an Army recruiter before?
No.
Oh. Do you play any sports?
Nah, I just hang out with my friends.
Just hang out, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, well, I gotta go.
Okay.
I'll catch you guys later.
Okay. Nice
right.
meeting you, Thomas.
Nice meeting you, too.
Well, we might as well get some lunch. Well, listen, Thomas, I'd really like to talk to you some more. Could I get your phone number so I can give you a call sometime?
Oh, I don't think so. My mother, she doesn't like people calling the house.
Well, I could call anytime it's convenient for you and your mother.
No thanks. I'll talk to you guys later.
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you, too.
Bye-bye. Well, I guess we better go get some lunch. Well, listen, Thomas, I'd really like to talk to you some more. My phone number's on that card. How about giving me a call at the recruiting station? I think the Army has some programs you really might be interested in.
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay.
All right. Oh, talk to you guys later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, I guess we better get some lunch. Okay, let's take a minute and document what we did today so we can keep our high school folder up to date.
So, you and Sergeant Walski had quite a day over at Huntsburg High. As you've seen, rapport is important in the high school. Now, while it's still fresh in your mind, let's take a look at the choices you made. You were right to try and schedule an appointment with Tammy immediately after school. She was obviously interested in the programs the Army has to offer. The error in your choice should have been obvious. You almost got kicked out of the school. The correct choice should have been to schedule an appointment immediately after school. You were in the school and your time is important. Why wait until next week to talk to someone? The correct choice should have been to schedule an appointment immediately after school. Now, you sent Tammy to see the guidance counselor for her to schedule an appointment. But you had the program she wanted to hear about. The correct choice should have been to schedule an appointment immediately after school. Based on her position, Mrs. Klein will probably be an invaluable COI for you. Your concern for Mr. Randall was commendable. However, Mrs. Klein is in the position now to influence students and help you do your job. The correct choice should have been to cultivate Mrs. Klein as a COI. Your interest in military history is commendable, but Mrs. Klein is in a position to influence her students and help you do your job. The correct choice should have been to cultivate Mrs. Klein as a COI. Now that you've totally ignored Mrs. Klein, how many phone calls do you think you'll receive from her? The correct choice should have been to cultivate Mrs. Klein as a COI. It was a good idea to continue asking fact-finding questions. Otherwise, you would never have determined that Miss O'Connor was bored with teaching and that her real interest lies in research. Giving your business card to Miss O'Connor wasn't a bad idea, but you needed to take it a step further. The correct choice should have been to continue asking fact-finding questions. Asking Miss O'Connor for referrals was a good idea, but you needed to take it a step further. The correct choice should have been to continue asking fact-finding questions. Getting to know all the teachers in your high school better is a good idea, but you missed the chance to find out Miss O'Connor's own needs and interests. The correct choice should have been to continue asking fact-finding questions. You were right to deliver a sales message and try to get an appointment with Thomas. Good job. Continuing to ask fact-finding questions is important, but Thomas was obviously ready. You should have ended the questions and delivered a sales message to get an appointment. That was the correct choice. Getting a prospect's phone number is important, but you had already established rapport with Thomas. Why didn't you deliver a sales message and try to get an appointment? That would have been the correct choice. Now, do you really think Thomas is going to remember to call you at the office? You were already talking to him. Why didn't you deliver a sales message and try to get an appointment? That would have been the correct choice. Cold calls are a central part of face-to-face prospecting, and yet many recruiters avoid them whenever possible out of fear. But if we are to successfully carry out our mission, cold calls can't be avoided. Knowing what to do when making a cold call, such as how to establish and maintain rapport with a prospect, helps us overcome our fear of cold calls. In addition to successfully making appointments for sales presentations, there are a number of other positive results that can come from cold calls. This lesson will teach you the fundamentals of making cold calls without fear. It incorporates the experience of many seasoned Army recruiters who helped produce this course. The words cold call strike fear into the hearts of many recruiters. Walking up to a strange house, knocking on the door, and asking to speak with someone you've never met before is not always easy. But cold calls are a very important part of face-to-face prospecting. And in many cases, the first branch of the service to make contact is also the first branch to write the contract. Remember that when making a cold call, you usually have some information on the individual you are trying to contact. He or she has requested information about the Army through the LEADS program, been referred to us by someone who knows them, from your current and past LRLs, or somehow come to our attention through their school, employment, or another organization. Effective use of the information you have will quickly build trust and establish rapport. You have only a few seconds to get your foot in the door, so to speak. If you don't use those seconds effectively, your cold call can quickly become very cold. However, the practice of good salesmanship techniques can turn cold calls into warm calls and lead to getting the appointments you must have with prospects to fulfill your mission. There can be many positive benefits from cold calls that don't result in you getting an interview. You may get referrals, establish COIs and VIPs, or just learn more about the community where you live and work. Take advantage of every one of those opportunities. Helpful information can be obtained from virtually every cold call you conduct if you ask open-ended, fact-finding questions. Listen carefully to the answer, then follow up with the right question that will provide you even more useful information. Once you establish initial face-to-face contact with a prospect during a cold call, you do exactly the same thing you do with any other prospect. Establish rapport, determine needs and interests, deliver a sales message, get the appointment, and if the opportunity presents itself, conduct the interview. Above all, don't let cold calls scare you. Believe in yourself and in your product. There are millions of young people out there who would like to know more about the benefits the Army has to offer them. Don't be afraid to knock on their doors and tell them about those benefits and opportunities. You'll be helping them, yourself, and the Army all at the same time. Thanks a lot for coming by.
Sure.
Come back and see me. Oh, hi. How you doing? I was just going through the mail. We got 4 new LEADS cards today from the Army's new direct mail advertising campaign. You know how the Army is about naming programs so that they spell words? Well, these used to be called REACT cards, but now they're called LEADS cards for Lead, Evaluation, and Distribution System. Now, 3 of these are filled out completely. We'll follow those up by telephone. It looks like the 4th one doesn't have a telephone number. I'd like you to meet Sergeant Smith. You'll be going out with him today.
Hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. Welcome to Huntsburg.
Sergeant Smith, you have a depper who lives out on Mayfair Road that you're planning on seeing this afternoon, right?
Yes, Tommy Wright.
Oh, great, great. This LEADS card just came in today and doesn't have a telephone number, but the address is out in that area.
We'll take care of it today, Sergeant Good.
Great, great. Check in with me when you get back.
Can do.
Good recruiting.
Tell you what, let's look this number up in the phone book before we drive all the way out there. Let's see, Robert Ashby. Well, wouldn't you know, not listed. I tell you what, we've got to stop by the post office on the way out, so why don't we check on directions while we're there? Okay, let's check the RPI rack and see if we need to fill it. Now, I like to check this about once a week just to make sure it doesn't run out of RPIs. And it helps me to keep tabs on what our market is interested in. Let's see. Combat arms. That's okay. All right. Here we go. And that's done. Oh, let's talk to Mr. Stewart, the postmaster. He might be able to help us out with our leads card. Besides, I kind of like to talk to him when I come in here just to say hello. Good morning, Mr. Stewart.
Sergeant Smith, how are you?
Just fine, sir, and yourself?
Fine, thank you.
Great.
What can I do for you today?
Well, I was wondering if you might happen to know this young man.
Robert Ashby, Route 3, Box 78. I used to deliver that route. That's got to be Ed Ashby's boy. He's got to be 18, 19 right now. He lives on Mayfair Road, and that'd be the first house on the right after you cross Maxwell Road.
Maxwell. Great. Listen, you've been a big help. I sure do appreciate it.
Stop by anytime, Sergeant Smith.
Sure. You know, it looks like we got time for lunch before we meet with Tommy. Mr. Stewart, he's a pretty good guy, isn't he? You know, there's something else you might want to keep in mind. Postal employees, especially those who have been around a long time, like Mr. Stewart, can be especially helpful. For one thing, they know a lot of people, and besides that, they know where they live. Hey, I'll tell you where we can eat lunch. There's this restaurant I love to go to. I go there a couple of times a month. A lot of local businessmen and some of our elected officials eat lunch there. It's a good place to keep in contact with our VIPs. Besides that, the food's great.
Here's your table. And here you are. And your waitress will be right with you.
Thank you.
Hello, Sergeant Smith. How's the family?
Hi, Rose. They're doing just great, thanks. Hey, listen, how's Billy doing?
I got a letter from him yesterday. He's getting promoted to E4.
Ah, that's fantastic. You know, I knew he'd make a good soldier from the first time I talked to him. Rose's son Billy is out at Fort Bliss with an air defense unit.
He's doing very well. Would you like a few more minutes?
I believe I'm going to have the chicken tarragon, Rose. It's really good. Make it 2, please. I tell you, in towns like Huntsburg and in the neighborhoods of larger cities, recruiters are the Army. You see, the closer our relations are with the community, the easier it is for us to do our job. Because the more people we know, the more leads and referrals we get. So when you look at it that way, I guess one of our most important jobs is to be good citizens and to set a good example for the Army. I mean, hey, we've got to sell ourselves before we can sell the Army, right?
Excuse me, Sergeant Smith?
Ah, Mr. Benson. Excuse me.
How you doing?
Just fine. How's everything down at the VFW post?
Oh, everything's great, everything's great. Listen, we had our big meeting last night, the one where we plan our Memorial Day parade.
Oh, right.
We were wanting to really do it up right this year. We were wondering if you could help us get an Army color guard, maybe even a band. Do you think you could arrange that for us?
Well, I'm sure the color guard will be no problem. Bands generally take a little longer, but I tell you what, I'll talk to Sergeant Good this afternoon and give you a call tomorrow.
Oh, that's great, that's great. Thanks so much. I knew I could count on the Army.
Sure, sir, no problem. You see? Now, right there's a perfect example. If you keep up your community relations, they'll be there for you when you need them. This is it. Tommy Wright's place. Hey, right there's Tommy. Hard at work as usual. I tell you what, this kid is on the ball.
Hey, Sergeant Smith.
Hey,
how you doing?
Pretty good, Tommy. How you doing, man?
Real good, real good, thanks.
Great. Hey, things been going okay for you?
Oh, pretty good, yeah. We got a couple things to fix on the farm here before winter, but other than that, you know, not too bad.
A lot of repairs this time of year?
Oh, yeah, we got to put a new fence up, got to fix the roof over there, and then buy some wood for the farm. Other than that, you know.
Man, I don't envy you. Hey, I got you some more DEP referral forms here.
Oh, great. Hey, I got a couple guys I'm going to give them to. And
Okay.
I brought you their names and numbers so you can give them a call.
Super. Good job, man. You've got your T-shirt. You keep this up, you'll be an E2 before you know it. Listen, do you know Robert Ashby?
Oh, yeah, he lives about 2 miles up the road here.
You guys pretty good friends?
Oh, we're real good friends. We went to school together since the first grade, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, but I haven't seen him much in a while. I guess we've been working too hard.
Hey, don't work too hard, man. All right? Well, listen, can I get his phone number from you?
Oh, sure. But hey, you know, it won't do you any good right now. Grain truck hit a pole up the road just before lunch. All the phones out here are dead.
Would you mind going with us to visit him?
Right now?
If you have time.
Well, I could go introduce you. But I gotta get back and try to get this stuff done.
It'd be very helpful, Tommy. I'd appreciate it.
No problem. I'll go get my truck and meet you over at Robert's.
Okay. Well, thanks anyway, Tommy. We'll just go see if Robert's at home. We'll see you later.
See ya. Oh, hey, Sarge. Hey, why don't I go with you over to Robert's? I could introduce you to. Might get me that promotion.
Great. Thanks.
All right, I'll see you there.
Well, do you think you could bring Robert by the recruiting station later this week?
Oh, geez, I won't have time for a couple of weeks here, Sarge. We're really busy on the farm right now.
That's okay, man. I understand. Well, we'll just go by and see if Robert's at home. We'll see you later.
All right. See you, Sarge. Oh, hey, Sarge. Why don't I go down to Robert's with you? I can introduce you to. Might get me that promotion.
Great. Thanks.
All right. I'll see you there.
Well, could you ask Robert to give us a call at the recruiting station?
Oh, sure, Sarge. Yeah, I'll probably see him in a few days. I'll tell him to give you a call.
Good. You know, while we're in the area, we might as well stop by and see if Robert's at home. We'll see you later, Tommy.
All right, see you, Sarge. Oh, hey, Sarge, why don't I go with you to Robert's? You know, I can introduce you to. Might get me that promotion.
Great. Thanks.
All right, I'll see you there.
Okay. Well, this looks like a pretty nice place. Looks like they got a lot of land here. You know, it's been my experience that higher income prospects are usually looking for adventure in the Army, while middle class families are looking for help with education, and lower income kids are usually looking for training. I mean, of course, that's not always true, but it's a good rule of thumb to keep in mind when you're out making cold calls. And I guess while I'm bestowing all this wisdom on you, it really is a good idea to keep your own personal safety in mind as well.
Hi, Mrs. Ashby.
Well, hi, Tommy.
These are my Army recruiters, Mrs. Ashby. They'd like to talk to Robert.
Well, Robert's not here right now. He's out in the field helping his father.
Hi, Ms. Ashby. I'm Sergeant Smith, your local Army recruiter. Here's my card, and here's your newspaper.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Robert had sent away for some information on the Army, and they sent his name to me. Now, when did he graduate from high school?
Last year, but I don't think he's ready for the Army. I didn't even know he was interested.
Well, the Army offers a lot of great opportunities to young people like Robert. Tommy here's already enlisted. He'll be leaving next month to start his training.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going into air defense. And when I get out in 2 years, I'll have several $1,000s for college.
Just for 2 years in the Army?
Yes, ma'am. Well, Sergeant Smith here can tell you all about it. I got to get going.
Hey, listen, Tommy, thanks a lot.
Say hello to your folks for me, Tommy.
I will. And tell Robert I said hi.
I didn't realize that you could still get money for college from the Army.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We have several education assistance programs. As a matter of fact, a lot of soldiers take college classes while they're in the Army. I'd be happy to sit down and talk to you about it with you and your husband, and as well as Robert.
Well, if you'd like to come in, we could have some coffee. Ed and Robert should be back just any time.
Great. Hi, I'm Sergeant Smith, ma'am. Here's your newspaper.
Thank you.
Sure. Listen, I'd like to leave this brochure on the Army for Robert if I could. I would appreciate it if you'd give it to him.
Very well. Make sure he gets it.
Well, Sarge, I got to get back to work.
Okay. Thanks, Tommy.
See you later.
Bye, Tommy. Bye, gentlemen.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Smith, ma'am. Here's your newspaper.
Oh, thank you.
And I'd also like to leave you my card. I would appreciate it if you would have Robert give me a call.
Very well. I'll ask him to call you.
Well, Sarge, I got to get back to work.
Okay.
See you
Thanks,
later.
Tommy.
Bye, Tommy. Bye, gentlemen.
Bye-bye. Hi, I'm Sergeant Smith, ma'am. Here's your newspaper.
Oh, thank you.
Listen, do you mind if we wait in the car while until Robert gets back?
Well, I'm not sure how long he'll be, even besides he's busy this evening, but I'll tell him you stopped by.
Well, Sarge, I got to get back to work.
Okay,
See you
thanks,
later.
Tommy.
Bye, Tommy. Bye, gentlemen.
Bye-bye. Wow. You know, I really love these old pictures.
That would be Grandmother Ashby.
Uh-huh.
And these are Ed's folks.
Well, there certainly seems to be a lot of history in this room.
Oh, this farm has been in the Ashby family for generations.
Well, I guess that explains it. Oh, I was curious now, in this picture over here, is that your daughter?
Marion.
I see. Is she older or younger than Robert?
Marion is 3 years older. Well, she'll be finishing her nursing degree this spring.
That's great. Wow, you know, nursing school is quite a challenge.
Well, has she decided where she wants to work?
Well, of course, I would love it if she would move back home, but I'm afraid she's going to want to go on to a larger city.
Well, do you know if she's ever considered the Army Nurse Corps? Well, now, the Army has a lot to offer nurses, and she could probably choose the area where she wants to work.
She has never mentioned the military. Marion is a very free spirit.
Well, I'd be happy to give her name to a nurse recruiter who can give her a call and explain the advantages of being an Army nurse.
It would be another option.
Well, if you just give me your phone number, I'll have them contact her and they can explain to her the options that the Army has.
Okay. She's at Jackson State, and it's 555-9806.
Great. Thank you.
That's great. Wow, nursing school is quite a challenge.
You know, Robert and Marion could actually go into the Army together.
I don't think their father and I would be very interested in that.
Yes, ma'am.
I have your card, and I'll give it to Robert when he gets home. If he's still interested in the Army, then he'll call you.
That's great. Wow, nursing school is quite a challenge.
Will Marion be home from college this weekend?
She's doing clinicals now. She won't be home for a month.
Well, could we set up a time for me to come by and sit down and talk with her about some of the opportunities the Army offers nurses?
Now, that would be entirely up to Marion.
Well, she certainly is a lovely young woman. As a matter of fact, the two of you could be sisters.
Thank you. It's interesting that you would say that. She's actually my stepdaughter.
Oh. Let's talk a little more about Robert. Did he graduate from high school last year?
Hello, folks. Hi, Betty.
Hello, sir. I'm Sergeant Smith, your local Army recruiter.
Ed Ashby, Sergeant. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. It's a pleasure to meet you. Robert, nice to meet you.
Same here.
Is it raining out there yet?
Not yet, but boy, we sure do need some.
Boy, that's the truth.
Robert, these recruiters are here to talk to you.
Yeah, Robert, your mom here was just telling me you recently graduated from high school.
I graduated from high school last spring.
Great. Congratulations. That's quite an accomplishment. Have you got any plans for the immediate future?
I really haven't given it too much thought. Right now, I'm just working for my dad.
I see. Did you get the information you requested from the Army?
Sure did. It came in last week.
Well, I'd like to take this opportunity right now to discuss that with you and answer any questions that you may have. Of course, feel free to get cleaned up if you need to.
I really don't have time right now. My friend will be here shortly, and we're going to pick my car up at the garage.
That's no problem, Robert, but I would like to take about 20 minutes of your time and talk to you about some of the opportunities the Army has to offer. Would this time tomorrow be convenient, or would tomorrow evening around 7:15 be better?
Tomorrow's okay. 7:15 is fine.
Great. Well, hey, we'd be glad to meet you and your friends somewhere and buy you a hamburger while we talk.
I don't think so, Sarge. We're meeting some friends afterwards. But I'll give you a call if I need any more information on the Army.
That's no problem, Robert. I know you're busy. But how about taking a look at the material the Army sent you, and after you've read it, give us a call, because we'd like to talk to you a little more about the Army.
Sure, Sarge. I'll do that just as soon as I have time to look the stuff over.
Mr. Ashby, your wife here tells me your daughter's in nursing school. You know, the Army Nurse Corps offers some great opportunities for women like her.
I'm sure it does, but I don't think she's going to be very interested in the Army.
No problem. Robert, listen, you give us a call if we can answer any questions for you.
Sure, Sarge.
You and Sergeant Smith met a lot of people today. Cold calls are unpredictable, but rapport is always the key. Now let's take a look at the choices you made. Asking Tommy to go with you was the right choice. Your depths help you establish rapport and credibility. Thanking Tommy for his help was great, but you failed to seize the opportunity to ask Tommy to go with you to help establish rapport and credibility. That was the correct choice. You were only 2 miles from Robert's house. Why didn't you ask Tommy to go with you to help establish rapport and credibility? That was the correct choice. You were only 2 miles from Robert's house. Why didn't you ask Tommy to go with you to help establish rapport and credibility? That was the correct choice. If you got into the house on the first try, I salute you. If it took you more than one try, you saw that establishing rapport with Mrs. Ashby was the only way to get into the house and learn more about Robert. Getting the referral information on Marion for the nurse recruiter was the correct thing to do. I can't believe you tried that. We all know that regular Army and Reserve recruiters don't recruit nurses. The correct choice was to get the referral information for the nurse recruiter. I think you must have been asleep on this one. We all know that regular Army and Reserve recruiters don't recruit nurses. The correct choice was to get the referral information for the nurse recruiter. I don't think I really have to say too much about this. The logical choice was to get the referral information for the nurse recruiter. Good. You remembered what you learned in recruiting school and offered Robert 2 different times for an appointment. After Robert told you he didn't have time to talk right now, you insisted on invading his privacy. The correct choice was to offer him 2 different times for an appointment. I can't believe it. You drove all the way out there to ask Robert to look over information he already had. The correct choice was to offer him 2 different times to try to get an appointment. You should have left well enough alone. After all, you came to see Robert. The correct choice was to offer Robert 2 different times for an appointment.